Hello, everyone. Coach Misty, faith-based relationship coach, helping women win at love and marriage. Welcome to Kingdom Wife Boot Camp, where I prepare singles to become winning wives, and we're talking about Real Relationship Goals Masterclass, my new book. You can find it on Amazon under Misty Goodwin, and we're on chapter 4 of repairing wounded relationships. And today I want to talk about judging the other person for their fault, for their wrongdoing, for the wrong turn, for their mistake, for how they did it and how they didn't do it. And we will judge each other based on the struggle instead of really uplifting God's love in us that will help them. I want you to know that God's love is a reservoir on the inside of you, and you have to tap into his love when you don't want to love, right? When you feel as though you've been wronged, you've been mistreated, mishandled, you cannot do to people what you don't want done to you. And God is not judging you, but God does chastise you. He does correct you. He does shape and form you. Judging a person by their struggle is the worst thing you can do when someone is down. Don't kick them while they're down, but lift them up, right? And how do you do that when you're in pain, right? You're in pain, you're hurting, you're discouraged, you're frustrated, and you still mad about what's happened. You say you forgive, but you don't forget. Well, number one, don't judge where another person is because you don't know the story. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know how there are other things that they are struggling with. You got to know the history of a person's life to know how to handle how they treat you. If they were abandoned, abused, addicted, if they have dealt with molestation and rape, the layers and layers and layers of pain has a lot to do with you, but you may be the surface of their issue, and there's some roots that they need to dig out and dig up. So number two, you got to ask God for wisdom and how you can stand together with that other person and help them through instead of judging, right? Now, telling the truth is not judgment. Hear me good. The Bible says you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Telling someone the truth is not judging them. It's simply knowing where they are and simply telling them the truth that's going to set them free. It's up to them to receive the truth, right? So when you tell the truth, you speak the truth, you live the truth, people can receive it. But the issue is when you have not arrived to a place that you start telling them what they need to do and you have not done it yourself, then you are now the lie that you tell them. You cannot preach the truth and live a lie, right? So be careful of that, because then that person feels like, how can you tell me something you have not done, right? So my motto to all of that is, I will not speak the truth and live a lie. Now, we all have struggles. We all have things we overcoming. But if I'm going to confront something and deal with an issue, I want to make sure that I'm not there anymore. And in that, I can tell my testimony on how God brought me out, so I can encourage, uplift, and exhort a person to a place of wholeness, right? Number 3, be patient in your affliction. Be patient with another person. Don't grow weary in your well-doing, for in due season you shall reap a harvest if you don't faint. And this is for a relationship. You got to not grow weary in your well-doing, even if they do wrong, if they keep making mistakes. You got to ask God for wisdom. Are you supposed to be in this relationship? Is it God ordained? Did God lead you to that relationship? And of course, if it's your family, that's the only people you can't choose to be in your life. But there are some family members you got to love with a long handle spoon, and you got to ask God for that. I can't tell you that. I don't believe you should cut off everyone. I do believe there's a process to this thing, and I do believe you need to ask God for wisdom. And I've learned to love everyone with an unconditional love. There are some people I have to put in a place that when they're ready, the door will be open. I pray for them. I love them, but they're not ready. And I'm okay with that. Like my father, he's not ready. So I love him with an unconditional love. I'm there for them. Anything he needs, I will be there. But he's not ready to commit to being in a relationship with me. I'm okay with that. But if he decides to come, I will. I'm not judging him. I realize he's not equipped, right? So I'm giving you that example because we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and by the power of our testimony. I love my father no matter what. And I thank God for him putting me into this earth. and that is my father. I will always honor him, right? But there are some things that we have to walk out and work out. And so some people, you do have to wait for them to grow and let God be God and still pray them through and love them. And you got to ask God for wisdom, right? The last thing is this. Ask for discernment. Again, discernment. Some of you will be caught up in relationships with a man that God never told you to be with. You got to ask for discernment. If you won't be graced for something God did not ordain to be in your life. You're not graced for abusive relationships. You're not graced for people who are addictive. You're not graced for those. Not all relationships are ordained by God, and that's where you ask for discernment. Lord, give me discernment to make wise decisions and choose those around me wisely. All right? So this week has been no homework because we're dealing with helping you to repair. If you are in a place that you have a relationship that needs prepared, I want you to email me, misty@coachmisty.org. All right? And I will do my best to help you in that area. All right? So hopefully you went to kingdomwife.org. Hopefully you are joining the conversation. And hopefully this is being a blessing to you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. God bless.